either for you, or maybe it could also be something that you suggest your kids could do. Maybe they want to put something together, you know, that kind of capsulizes this year, especially the end of the year here. Encourage them maybe to go take some pictures or do some writing, you know, or do something. So like it could work either way. You could make an example and then encourage your kids, because these tools are also available to them. So I'm going to share my screen here. That might not be the right screen. Let me. I had one all ready to go. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. Are we good?
I don't see yours yet, but we're ready.
Okay. How about now?
Hey, there it is.
Okay. Only problem is I'm not seeing it on my screen. There we go. All right. You'd think we'd have this down by now. I'm going to start with Adobe Spark page. So this is the same login that Miles showed on Tuesday with Adobe Spark Video. That's the one that we've used most often with Adobe Spark, but it also has a really nice, they call it a web page. It's kind of a newslettery magazine type of thing. Let me show you an example of one that Greg made a couple of years ago. Greg, you might want to talk us through this since you're the one that made it.
Sure. So I just took the pictures from a couple years ago. I made this just a couple days ago, but I took the pictures that were still in our shared folder, and I just threw a whole bunch in really quick. And the two features I used were the glide show in the background. So as you go through, we scroll down and we put in the most likely to be, and then the personalities and things like that. And in the background, there's a picture. And then I submitted a little video. And again, I just quickly did this in an Adobe Spark video, like Miles showed us. And so I was just doing plus add a picture, plus add a picture.
Yeah. So that's the video within the page.
Yep. And then you go back to the page after it's done and you keep scrolling through. And then I put in, we also did with our students, we had them write memories of the year. And so I put two of them in. One of them, it didn't copy very well. When I did it, I thought I copied it all and ended up only getting the title. And then, but as you kept going through, there's just, you can keep having more pictures in the background as you scroll through them. And I thought that was kind of a fun way to do it.
Yeah, this is a nice look, and you can make these, notice that instead of moving through like a slideshow, I'm just scrolling down the page. And you can make it as long as you want, and I'll show you how to do that. But you can add lots of different elements. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So you just go into Adobe Spark. I'm just going to go to spark.adobe.com. It's like I would sign in to do a video. I'm already signed in here, but you want to make sure that you've signed in with your enterprise ID and sign in with your Nebo account. So right here is where, if you get a page like this, this will always take you to the home page. And so I would say, what do you want to create here? I could do, up here I could create a project, and you see that gives me these same choices here. But what I want to create is this web page. And you can see where you, so it's just going to prompt you through here. This will be your title page to start with. I'm going to move this out of the way here. So I'm just going to add a photo. It's going to be a background photo. Notice what my choices are. I can upload a photo from my computer. I could search for a photo. You may not have photos in your Creative Cloud. Usually if you've created something in Photoshop or something like that, you'd save it to Creative Cloud if you use Dropbox. But this is a nice feature here that you can you can upload right from Google Drive, from Google Photos, or from Google Drive if you've got photos there. I'm going to use the Find Free Photos option here, and I'm going to put in search for distance learning, because that's going to be about this year here. So found a better one yesterday, but you never know what's going to bring up. But I like this feature especially for students because you don't have to send them out to Google. Let's do at-home learning. We'll say that's it. So this is my background. I could add a subtitle, the year that was or wasn't. Okay, so then it just, there's not much customization you can do here. I could change, I could write, put in a, change the image if I wanted to. But then when I go down here to start writing the story, after I've made this initial title page, I can add photos. Again, I would have the same options over here for the photos. I could add text. You notice how Greg added text, so you could just type in, you've got a little editor that just pops up right there. I could add, the button is a hyperlink.
And so, Pam, yes. With the text, you can also copy and paste it from somewhere else. And what happens is after, wherever you put in a paragraph, like an enter, that's where the next plus will show up inside of it.
As soon as you hit enter, then you get this next plus. Yeah, as soon as you insert something, then you get the plus below it. So yeah, and you could have students, you could copy and paste from Google Docs. You can't insert it directly, but you could do it in a doc and then, well, that might, if you had a link to your doc, that might work. I don't know, I haven't tried that. If it would just bring in the text.
Yeah, the link itself won't bring in the text.
This is your button, which is a hyperlink. So you could send out if you wanted to send to a school website, or you had something, I don't know, something else. But that's just a hyperlink, so it looks like a button. So this would be what you want the text on the button to be. And then right in here, I would put, I'm going to grab that URL right here. I always like to go to the website to copy the URL because it brings in everything that I need, like the HTTPS and all that, so I don't have to type it in. I can see where I want that button on the page. So I'm going to go save. So that creates a little button that if you click on it, it would go to a website. You can insert your choices on video or YouTube or a Spark video like Greg showed you. So if you have the link to it, a video that you created in Adobe Spark, that would bring it in, or YouTube or Vimeo. Vimeo is blocked for students in our district. It's not blocked for teachers, but be careful putting something from Vimeo if this is for your students, because they wouldn't be able to see it. A photo grid is where you can add like 3 different photos. I'm just going to put in a few that just happen to be right here. And it just creates its own grid for you. And down here, I can change it. Like I could move that. Oh, it moves it back. Anyway, you'd have to play with it. That if I wanted that to be the large, I could replace it with another one. Can move it back to where it was, but I can just organize that grid. It looks like I put the same one in twice there.
Try adding a 4th to see what happens as you add them in.
Yeah, so I can add as I add more, it just makes a smaller. The grid is the same size, but the photos, well, so it's just a different way to display pictures. And again, I could change the order of them with these arrows, or I could make it a large photo and then it would. So what Adobe does is you don't have to do much formatting. It just kind of does it for you, and it just makes a really nice. So right now I would come down here. Here's my image. I didn't put in text. Here's a little photo grid. This is called a glide show. And this, Greg showed you what this looked like. It's just more like how it presents when you do it. I'll put a few photos in here. And when I go to save it, they kind of glide over each other. So here's what the glide show looks like. And then here is where I could add text. So you notice where Greg had that text coming in. This is how he did it. He created the glide show and then he added the text to it. Could add a picture or whatever. So now you'll see when I do that show, I've got a lot of empty things. I'm doing this really quick on the run for you, but that would come in. You wouldn't see that. Obviously, when you published it, you wouldn't see those plus buttons. And then you can split a layout, which you can have an image on one side and text the other side. And this just switches it so you'd have the image on one side and the text on the other. So that's basically all there is to it. Really easy to put in all these elements. There's different themes over here. So this is what would change. The only way really to change your fonts is to pick another theme. So here's the Storybook theme, the nightcap. You can see where that's gonna change my, taking a minute to change my text. It changes the background. Here's a crisp theme. So you just kind of want to go through here and play with the different themes, see what they look like. It's probably going to change my page here. So again, not a ton of customizations you can make yourself, but Spark does a lot in the background for you. There it is, that other theme that I put on there. So after you get your content in, you might want to just play around with your themes. Then when you're done, also this is adding a collaborator. So you can invite someone else. This isn't for them to view it. This would be them to work on it with you. So maybe your team wanted to put one together for the end, like the 6th grade yearbook, like Greg did. You can invite collaborators to work on that. And then when you're done, you just click the share button. So I'm going to publish and share the link. I don't know if it makes you create a category and able to do it. You know what? Not sure what. Oh, this just puts me as the author there. And because I brought these in from the Google search, it added those credits automatically to the end of my show. Then it just creates a link. And this is what you would just share. So you can share it on Facebook, Twitter. You can share it directly to Google Classroom. You could email from here or just copy the link and share it with your students that way. So pretty slick and makes it pretty nice. If I go here to preview, you can see what it would look like. Takes a minute for it to publish without all the different plus buttons and stuff in it. There's the glide. So that was the extra page that I put in. So a little nicer than just a Google slideshow. Just got a more professional presentation, and it's not that much harder to create. Any questions about that? It's just that I know we do Adobe Spark videos a lot, and sometimes we don't even realize that that other option is there. Whoops, not clocking in. Okay, the next thing to talk about is Google Photos. Would be another way to share photos and create movies. So I'm just going to go to